Today, I wanted to talk about failure because it's such an apparent thing in all of our lives. We fail on a day to day basis, and a lot of the times, I think that we allow this emotion of failure to define us when in reality, failure can be a good thing. And in most circumstances, if you're not failing, then you're probably not leveling up because we don't have to fail in order to do things in a mediocre way. And in order to become better, failure can become necessary. The reason why we're all so afraid to fail is because it's a threat to our identity. It's not just a loss, but it's a threat to what we think we are capable of. We have carefully constructed narratives in our brains as to who we are, and every time we aren't able to achieve something we set out, it's an ego hit. It hurts. And a lot of the times, it's human nature to shrink from it, to hide, and to just tell ourselves that we weren't capable of doing that thing anyway. So in reality, it wasn't a failure. And although this can be comforting to us because we feel like we didn't actually fail, we are doing ourselves a disservice by telling ourselves that we are limited and that we aren't cut out for certain things. As much as failure can feel like an ego hit and like we aren't as good as what we thought we aren't the person that we thought in our head, instead of taking failure as a hit to our ego, we can start seeing it as an invitation to become better, to transcend from the person that we thought that we were. Our world perpetuates the narrative that failure equals mediocrity. Failure equals the opposite of success, when in reality, failure is a stepping stone to becoming a better version of ourselves. Failure is inherent to our ongoing journey on this earth, in our careers, in our relationships, and it's necessary to see growth and build resilience. And this is going to sound cheesy, but Thomas Edison himself said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." So instead of framing failure as a destination, Thomas Edison framed failure as an ongoing process of discovery, of getting to an end goal. Failure is not the end. If we collectively agree that Thomas Edison is a successful person, then why can't you say the same for yourself when you encounter a failure? Why do we see failure as our lack of being capable to do something instead of seeing it as a way in order to become somebody who we want to be? And you might think that you're not that person because you embrace failure, but no matter how much you think that you embrace failure, it is always going to feel bad when you don't achieve something you wanted to achieve. That is the most dangerous part of failure. It's within those moments of feeling like you are that failure that we lose the big picture as to what this failure can bring us. Without failing at something, we will never be able to achieve what we want to become in the future. The fact that failure can be good does not mean that failure is always good. You might think, well, that's the opposite of everything I've been saying for the entirety of this video. But in order for failure to be good, you need to control your reaction to failure. It's not about what failure says about you, but rather what you do in reaction to the failure. If you let failure happen, you do nothing about it, you think that you aren't capable of doing anything else further than that, then you've lost. And failure is now a bad thing because you didn't react accordingly. You didn't react with the growth mindset, but you instead reacted with a static, mediocre mindset. So you need to try, fail, learn what went wrong, and then try again and repeat the process. If it doesn't work the first time, try again a second time. If you fail the first 10 times, there's always the 11th. Seeing this and you recently failed at something and that's why you clicked on this video, take this as a sign to try again. If you don't try again, then you'll never have the opportunity to succeed. And why are you letting failure dictate the person that you want to become? Just like failure is never final, success is also never permanent. For the rest of this video, I'm going to talk about very famous people who have all failed multiple times in their careers and didn't let that stop them. Henry Ford's first two automotive companies failed. Two companies. Do you know how much it costs to start one company? Now imagine two. And after all of those costs went into those two companies, he tried again and he was successful on his third try. Apple came close to being bankrupt in the 1990s. Imagine if Steve Jobs had just said, you know what, I'm too afraid of going bankrupt. This idea is a dud. I want to stop. I'm not going to achieve this. Imagine if he doubted himself for even a second. Where would he have ended up? And the fact that he didn't give up is something I'm sure he was grateful for every single day. Bankruptcy is terrifying. Student loans are terrifying. Debt is terrifying, but don't let that stop you from achieving what you want to achieve. I can't say that enough. Don't let an emotion, don't let a fear, don't let something figurative ruin all of the plans that you have for yourself. J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, she said that at the time that she was writing her most popular series, one that I'm sure everybody in America has heard of, she was, quote, poor as it is possible to be in modern Britain without being homeless. Yet, she believed in herself. She continued writing these novels. She was at the lowest financial point of her life writing these novels. And then when she finally submits them to publishing houses, at least 12 of them reject it. 12. But did she stop? Did she let that be a barrier to her success? Steven Spielberg was rejected twice by the University of Southern California's Cinematic Arts School. Walt Disney stated, I think it's important to have a good hard failure when you're young because it makes you kind of aware of what can happen to you. Because of it, I've never had any fear in my whole life when we've been near collapse and all of that. I've never been afraid. And something relevant to this is that my friend who is currently trying to become a pilot told me that some good advice she received about flight school. An instructor once told somebody, "Tell me what the scariest outcome you think is in this plane right now that is making you not want to fly it and do it so that I can show you exactly how to get out of it." Confront your fear, learn how to get out of it and improve. Oprah Winfrey, a billionaire who has her own TV channel, said that she was fired from her first television job. Do you think that at the time that she got fired, she would have imagined that she would be a billionaire with her own TV channel? She states, there's no such thing as failure. Failure is just life trying to move us in another direction. Stephen King, a very, very, very popular author, said that he had his first book rejected 30 times. Not once, not twice, not 10, 30 times he was rejected. Publishers told him that they weren't interested in any kind of science fiction that touches on negative utopias because they don't sell. He had initially succumbed to failure and thrown his book in the trash, but it was only until his wife had retrieved the book and told him to continue trying and resubmit it. And lo and behold, his wife's resistance to failure is why he is so incredibly successful today. If you don't succeed at something, please do not stop trying, especially if it's something that you really want to accomplish out of life and it gives you meaning, it gives you fulfillment, it brings you happiness. Don't stop trying. It doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter what you look like, what you sound like, if you have disabilities. Almost like that quote that if you don't believe in yourself, then nobody's going to believe in you. But trust me, overcoming your fear of failure will change so much for you. Another great way to frame it that I heard someone say once is that if you never stop trying, then you've never truly failed. I'm going to leave you with that. So I hope you have an amazing week and keep going, keep trying, keep your head up. I believe in you. You should believe in yourself too.